Would I be the asshole for telling my parents why my brother is giving them the silent treatment? My younger is 14 and has been giving both my parents the sudden silent treatment and avoiding them. My parents are very confused and concerned and asked me to find out what's going on with them. I asked my brother and he told me he doesn't want to talk to them because his voice has deepened very quickly and noticeable, almost as deep as mine and my dad's, and he doesn't want our parents, especially our dad, making an issue about it and asking him questions about puberty. He told me not to tell them the real reason and to just tell them he's not mad or upset. He's also looking up ways to prevent his voice from getting deep. I thought about telling the real reason because giving them a general answer isn't going to stop them from trying to figure it out. WIBTA. Your brother is going to have to talk to them eventually, but if he asked you not to tell them and it isn't something putting him in danger, I think breaking his trust would be an asshole thing to do. You're going to need the trust later when he starts dealing with more serious shit. Why be the asshole? Because even though the matter seems trivial, and that the parents won't be deterred, your brother trusted you with the information. You will be endangering that trust. Next time, he may not tell you even if it is a serious matter. WIBTA. He asked you not to tell them. Maybe just assure them that he isn't mad at them, but it's not your place to tell them. You should repost this in the relationship advice subreddit. Remove asshole question and just ask for where to go from here. It's not about whether or not you're an asshole. You're not. It's about how to help your brother navigate a difficult time when he's asking you to keep an unrealistic secret. He's trying to stop his voice from deepening? Can you share a bit more about your cultural background and what country you live in? YWB the asshole. My general rule regarding sibling secrets is as long as nobody is in danger of death or jail, I won't tell. He can't stay silent forever. He's embarrassed. And you telling will only make him more embarrassed. You wouldn't be, but for God's sake tell them the truth cause they are gonna eventually find out anyways. Also maybe you can do the role of teaching him about puberty in a normal way. I'm going to say no assholes here, but you need to talk with your brother first and help him understand that his voice changing is normal and no one but complete AHs are going to harass him about it. He doesn't need to fix his voice and to please not try things that may in fact damage his voce. If you can at all just get him to talking around your parents again and maybe then him or you can laugh about how his insecurity about all this was silly. YWBTA. Keep it general, and be firm. It's nothing serious and doesn't really have anything to do with anything you've done. It's one of those normal growing up things he's trying to figure out for himself. And it's something you can't do for him. Give him space and time. He's also looking up ways to prevent his voice from getting deep. Info. But why though? Unless he's trans, but then this would be a she not a he. YWBTA. It may not seem like a big deal to you, but it would be betraying his trust and teaching him he cannot confide in you. You should tell them, but specifically say, don't mention his voice. It happens to every boy, it's very normal. This is the kind of situation that you need to stay out of. Just tell your parents that it's nothing they did and your brother will discuss it with them when he feels ready. YWB the asshole. Your brother trusted you enough with his secret, keep it that way. Unless his life is in immediate danger, which it is not. Now is probably a good time to be there and support your brother. He's obviously not comfortable with the changes going on, just be there for him. Oof. There's a lot going on here. I don't think this is a question of if you're an asshole or not. It's a question of how to best support your brother and help to navigate what is a scary and challenged time for all kids. In the end, he's going to have to speak to your parents eventually. Perhaps you can tell them what's going on and how sensitive your brother is about it so that your parents can be prepared for the discussion that will need to happen, but tell them to leave it up to your brother to initiate that conversation. I don't know what the right, best answer is here other than do what you can to be supportive on both sides. Good parents will certainly not let this go. If they see their kid is in distress, they are going to do everything they can to figure out why, and hopefully you can help your brother to feel comfortable talking to them even if he thinks the conversation will be embarrassing. Wow. Kids can actually give their parents the silent treatment wherever op lives and the parents are confused? If I did that I'd get an ass whopping. YWBTA. Definitely. He's also looking up ways to prevent his voice from getting deep. Is your brother possibly trans? YWB the asshole. If you just told them, best bet is to have a talk with your brother, stop him trying to prevent it happening and persuade him to talk to them. You are the asshole. Tell him they're going to keep trying to figure it out, and he's not going to be able to avoid questions. Also, his voice is going to get deeper. These changes are normal, and it's normal to feel anxious and self-conscious about them. It's also normal for people to notice and talk about them, especially parents. The only real way to get over puberty is to live through it. Teenagers don't think it be like it is, but it do. It do. You are the asshole. He asked you not to tell them the real reason, and it's not something that would hurt him, though I'd have a private talk with him about what he's looking up, so they don't need to know. This is something your brother needs to tell them, not you. Trust between siblings is an important thing to keep intact. This sounds like a momentary disruption in the normal everyday life. It certainly isn't a situation where you betray trust if you tell them you WBTA. It's none of your business. Why WB the asshole? Because he asked you to keep a secret. But do try to talk to him and assure him it's normal. Tell him your dad went through the same thing. Ask him to seek advice from dad. Because if he's trying to look up ways to keep puberty from making his voice deep, he needs some actual advice. You are the asshole. Telling your parents will break his trust in you. And you need it, because you need to talk to him about his plans. Attempting any vocal exercises, or anything else for that matter, to keep his voice high without assistance from a trained professional is dangerous and could do permanent damage to his vocal cords. Why WBTA? He told you this in confidence and specifically asked you to not tell your parents. Maybe help him figure out a way to tell them, hey, my voice is deepening, I know how puberty works, so please don't make a deal of it or give me the talk. If he's uncomfortable in person, maybe a letter? Don't say anything or no bro for you for like 1 year. Why WB the asshole? You'd be betraying his trust and he'll most likely not tell you anything again. I doubt you wanna ruin the trust you clearly have with him since he chose to tell you what was wrong. In your place, I would have a chat with him about what's going on and encourage him to talk to his parents himself and voice his concerns about everything, and maybe tell them to just sit and listen to what he wants to tell them if he chooses to talk to them. Why WBTA? This is what you'll have to learn to say to your parents as the older sibling and your parents attempt to triangulate. Yes, I talked to younger sibling. Don't worry. They're safe and healthy. No, I cannot tell you what was discussed. That is private. They just need some time and space. They will talk to you when they are ready. Why WBTA? Just do as he asked, and tell them he's not mad or upset. Ask them to trust you, and to trust him. Why WB the asshole? Are your parents so invasive, or why doesn't he want to talk to them about puberty? Why WBTA? Why not ask him how he plans to hide this and for how long? Maybe that will give him some reality of how this is not feasible plan at any point. He will have to talk to them soon, so I tell them, but try and make a case to your brother first. If you go to your parents first, you'll be an asshole since your brother asked you not to. Tell your brother that he will have to talk to them soon, and that he should ask your parents not to conversant about puberty stuff. Why WB the asshole? Maybe you can try telling your parents that he's being standoffish because he's coming to terms with something personal and wants to go at it by himself for now. Or drop subtle hints that he doesn't appreciate them bringing up, cracking jokes about puberty. Also try and take your brother out for brother hangs and make him feel comfortable talking with you so his vocal cords get some practice. Lol. Why WBTA? Don't break that trust. He may never tell you anything in the future, especially if it was a more serious problem. Why WBTA? But there may be a way around it. Tell them you don't know why he's not talking to them, but remind them that he's a teenager going through puberty who's experiencing a lot of changes he may be sensitive about, so they should be careful about any comments they make about him. Don't tell your parents because all that would do is hurt him. Rather sit down with him and explain that this is normal. Oh, please don't give the puberty talk though, and tell him you'll be there with him when he talks to your parents, siding with him and making sure your parents don't overreact or give the talk. Why WB the asshole? He asked you not to, so don't. Tell him to be careful with voice exercises and tell your parents to just give him space. Why WBTA? Do not betray your brother. He's not mad, you don't know anything beyond that. Why WBTA? He told you this in confidence because he trusts you. If you speak, you'll have lost his trust. Why WB the asshole? 14-year-olds don't readily confide in people, so the fact that he trusted you to keep a secret is a big deal to him. I know you don't think his voice deepening is a big deal, but it obviously is to him. It would break his trust in you if you told your parents. You want him to feel he can talk to you about things. I understand you want the silliness of this to stop because your parents feel guilty, but it really needs to come from your brother. I suggest you have an open conversation with him and convince him to talk to your parents again. WIBTA. There are some great suggestions on here for how to tell them honestly that he's okay and safe and to please let it go for now, without telling his secret. One thing I wonder about though, and he doesn't want our parents, especially our dad, making an issue about it and asking him questions about puberty. Does your dad have a tendency to get overly intrusive about private matters? It sounds like there's some history here. Encourage him to talk to them because it's not fair for them to be wondering why he's mad, but it's also not your place to tell his secrets. WIBTA. Nah. Sounds like your brother doesn't know how to respond to his physiological changes and your parents are confused about his withdrawal. That is pretty tough for everyone. I would suggest you try to speak to your brother about voice changes being normal and not something he can control. He could do with some support and validation. It might help to explain that this will impact on his relationship with your parents if he continues to hide this. I would also let your parents know he seems confused and embarrassed about changes and needs their support right now to adjust. Good luck.